Hey everyone, it's DBJ, and today on CSI RPG, we're going to talk about creature motivations, from the simple animalistic all the way up to the outsiders, the planes, and other creatures from other dimensions. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the basic animal instincts and motivations for your games. And the reason why I'm talking about creature motivations and goals is because this allows the game masters to basically have an out for not killing their characters, player characters. Most natural creatures, neutral alignment, and they're pretty much focused on food, shelter, territory, some fear and intimidation to keep creatures away from where they're at or if they feel threatened. And most natural animals will back off unless they are backed into a corner or they feel that the threat is one in which they must, say, protect their young. Most natural creatures will back off. And so you don't have to have a situation where a pack of wolves attacks a player character party in the woods and the wolves just don't back off. They can run. You stab them a couple times, throw a torch at them, and they go off screaming. A bear flexes his muscles once the player characters leave because it's protecting its cubs, and then it leaves. So even shark attacks don't continue to attack people. They may lock on. Even pit bull attacks, they lock on, but given the opportunity, to leave, some sharks are just like, what, this human doesn't really taste that good, and leaves. Same things with a pit bull. Finally, you get their teeth off of you, and usually either they're hyper focused on one person, or you just beat them in the head till they run. It's rough on us normal human beings, but your player characters are heroes. But I like the middle ground people, the goblinoids, the humanoids, the ones with the giant classes, the creatures that have actual motivations above and beyond. And I'm going to tell you a true story. I had a game. I don't even remember what the actual mission was, but there were like 50 goblins or something, and I thought this would be really cool. I'm thinking about the movies, and this is going to be a way for the characters to shine, and they're going to slash their swords, and it goes over. And after like 3 rounds, man, it was just like it was a dice slog. I was like, oh, okay, everybody pick up the dice. I roll. Oh, I go slash the sword. Okay. And then I'm picking up the dice and I'm rolling 1, miss, 2, miss, 3, miss, 4, miss, 5, hit, 1 point of damage, blah, blah, blah. And it drove me crazy. I don't know how the players even sat through it, but it drove me crazy. So halfway through it, I'm going, this is kind of stupid. I mean, the first wave jumps up, they get killed. The second wave comes in, they get killed. Third wave comes in, and I'm going, this is not only is this boring, but even visually, I wanted it to be exciting, but I just failed at it. So I decided to throw a monkey wrench in it, and this turned into a big thing. I had like the 5 goblins at the back end just decide, why don't we just take the treasure and run? So tell the player characters, okay, you see some goblins in the back and they go to retreat. You can see them gathering their things together. I didn't tell them they stole the treasure, but I told them to gather their things together and they leave. So the players, you finally take out like 40-something goblins and they look around for the treasure and there's no treasure. And they're just like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, there's nothing there. All the supplies are gone. Maybe some of the ones that retreated took it. And it just surprised them because they were like, well, we just defeated the creatures. There should be a treasure drop. And they're like, no, there's no treasure drop. Well, as they weren't to leave the dungeon, the 5 goblins tried to reset a bunch of traps. And through the course of a couple of games, these same 5 goblins kept turning up. They would steal food and supplies. They would instigate fights with other creatures and lead them down hallways towards the player characters. They were like scavengers. They would follow the player characters into town and live off their scraps. It was just, and it became a running joke because as we played other games, the other game masters in my group would use these same 5 goblins, and I don't even think they had real names. It was just like Snot Nose, Black Eye, like they just had dumb names, Bucket Bottom, and these 5 goblins were like, they weren't annoying enough to hunt down and kill, but they had just enough of an influence that it really affected the game, and it became kind of fun because the goblins would spread disinformation. And when I say they were stealing things and treasure and stuff, like they'd steal like the minor stuff because they were parasites. They knew, well, hey, if we steal all the platinum, someone's going to come and kill us. But if we take all the copper and silver, well, hey, the player characters are rich. They're not going to notice it. And it just turned into this big thing where they just wouldn't fight anybody. They did hit and run tactics. They would reset traps. They would create noise. They would try to get a bucket of green slime and pour it on somebody's back and then run. I mean, it was just a bunch of little things, and it just became really fun. It was almost like a comedy relief, but it actually fit into the game. And if you can come up with a really good motivation for your creatures, trying to save the player characters is not going to be a problem. If there's some hill giants and all they really want to do is get a couple of cows and drink huge barrels of mead, then getting into an all-out war is not necessary for them. Maybe they're just like, well, our only problem is just getting a couple cows, and you're like, that was the whole fight. Sorry, guys. It's like, that's the whole fight? You just want some cows? And they're like, well, yeah, but we don't know how to raise cows. We just know that the people down in the village have cows, and we like eating cows. And you come up with all kinds of things. Maybe some of these motivations, like expanding their territory, or a bigger, really common storyline is the bigger and badder bad guy. So let's say a small village is attacked by trolls because an even bigger threat is pushing the trolls out of their home. So yes, the trolls are evil. Yes, they're attacking villagers. Yes, they deserve to die. But now you find out, well, the trolls were being threatened from their homes. Maybe there's a black dragon's moved into their den, and they refuse to follow the dragon's machinations. So the dragon kicked them out, under threat of being hit with acid. Hey, kitty. So wow. The idea is that to create motivations for the creatures, even some wandering monsters, maybe they're literally just wandering around. They encounter the heroes, they fight a little bit. Uh-oh, wait a minute, they're too tough. Man, I need to get the hell up out of here. So, long story short, monster motivations. You really want to create some just to have an idea of what their end goal is. And sometimes it's not really just killing the player characters. Sometimes it's just some treasure. Maybe they're just moving through the territory and they just happen to cross paths. Maybe they're just hungry. This allows characters who may not have the best combat skills to have an impact on the game. They can very easily parlay with the creatures or offer the creature something that creature wants. And in my opinion, experience is given whenever you survive a creature encounter. Whether you kill it or not, you learn from your mistakes and you learn from encounters. And any successful encounter, I think, is worthy of experience. So, thanks, guys.